So you were mentioning about the talent that Sri Lanka has, the potential you were talking about. There was a whole reason you came here. You saw the potential, you stayed here. But when I think of it from a young person's view, we have an enormous brain drain issue.
Yep.
Enormous.
Yep.
So that takes away from the main asset you were just describing. Why do you think we are in this situation despite the intellectual talent that Sri Lanka has?
You're right. I think it's over 1 million in the
That's right.
last year or so have
That's
left.
right.
And with all respect to those that are here, like us, they are some of the brightest people. They are the ones with the best English, with the best qualifications. They can get on. They're the ones that are getting the visas and are going overseas. And yes, the grass is often regarded as greener. And if you've grown up on an island, my very best friend had never left the island till 2 years ago. And I said, well, okay, we're going on a trip. We're going to Malaysia and Thailand. He'd never left the island, saw no reason to leave the island. But when you get to a point, people do want to leave the island. Australians are exactly the same.
Right.
And fun fact, Australia has exactly the same population or similar to Sri Lanka, 23.8 million. They're just a bigger island. But Aussies are exactly the same. They qualify and then they want to go and travel. When I was headhunting in London, we'd get an Aussie passport and say, hold on, have you done your traveling yet? I see you've just come from Sydney. No. Go and do your traveling around Europe. Come back and see me in 3 months. I'll get you a job. I'll get you 10 interviews today, but not until you've done your traveling. People want to leave, and that's natural. I think a lot of parents believe that you need to go overseas to get on. You need to go to the UK, America. I wouldn't go to America now, but Australia, Canada, they do present a lot of opportunities, and it is different. And you can earn a lot of money. A waiter, a server can go to Dubai and earn the equivalent of about 3.5, 4 months. But when you consider accommodation costs and this cost and that cost, you're actually worse off.
Yeah.
You're worse off going overseas, and people don't realize that. We did a lot of recruitment for the UK. We never placed Sri Lankan doctors and nurses. I didn't want to mess up the health service here. We moved a lot of people into the UK on what looked like double or triple their salaries from where they were in India or in Africa. But they struggle to get beyond the basic poverty line. It is an expensive country to live in the UK, incredibly expensive. People don't realize. My daughter went on a train journey the other day, just there and back in the day, £65. What's that in rupees? A lot. 24,000 rupees?
That's
something
close to
like
30,000, yeah.
that. Just a train journey, just go and see a granddad for lunch. So you have to factor that in.
Wow.
But also, I think we have to give a reason for people to stay. We have to give a reason for people to come back. And they're not going to come back immediately. The Aragali is still very fresh in people's memories. I was there. I went many times to observe. That's very fresh. If there's a reason for them to come back and they feel safe and their efforts and talents, then yes, they will come back. But we have to give a reason for them to come back. Not just say, it's okay, guys, come back on the same salaries you were. No, that's not going to happen. Probably for a generation. That's the scary fact. Probably for a generation that people won't come back.
What's a good reason to come back? If you think about the wages here, working in a corporate place, most people leave because they don't want to do that. You came here to start a business. Do you think that is the main incentive for anyone to come back to start a business?
I think so. I think if someone has done 2 to 5 years, let's say, not just the UK, I use that because I know the country well, internationally, they've worked in the UK or Australia or somewhere for 2 to 5 years, even as let's say a senior software programmer, they could come back here into a senior management role, into an IT management role, or they could develop their own business here. And I'm passionate about entrepreneurship, as you know, set up Sri Lanka business hubs in 2016 to do something for this country. That if they come back and start a business, that's the best time to start a business, when they're young, when they don't have, and I don't know about your situation, guys, but I'm guessing you probably don't have a home loan at the moment. Are either of you married yet?
Nope.
No, you look happy, that's why. Yeah, I just assumed as much. Yeah, I've been married for 42 years and I still smile. So you don't have children, maybe, it doesn't necessarily go together. You don't have children, you're not married, you don't have a home loan, you might have a car loan. When's a good time to start a business? Then, not when you're married and you've got a big loan and you've got school fees and you've got everything else to pay for. That's a big risk. And you're leaving a job that's paying you enough money to pay for the school fees and everything. So I say take a risk when you can afford to take a risk. And that's now. That's under 30, under 35. That's the time to take the risk. And what's the worst that can happen? You could fail. Okay, you failed, you tried. I failed at businesses. I'll be the first to tell you, I failed at businesses. I'm far too trusting. I tell people too much about how to run the business, how much money we're making. They go, oh, that's good. Yeah, I'll go and do that. It's happened 3 times in my life where people that I've employed have gone off and set their own business up in competition to me. It's a free world. They failed, by the way. Such a shame. Mum and Daniels is still going 26 years later. But no, I think people should come back. And if the culture is encouraging enough and the economic environment to encourage entrepreneurship, get the banks to start backing entrepreneurs. Because banks aren't in the risk business.
Of course not.
Banks are like umbrella salesmen who want them back when it starts raining. Sorry to any bankers out there. But that's what I believe. They don't take risks. Even my credit card here, I have to put a 3.5 million fixed deposit down to borrow my own money back, only 80% of my money, and I borrow back for my credit card. Well, that's stupid. It's my money. You're holding. In the UK, you don't need to put security for your credit cards.